where I'm going to be using some really, really random things in my craft room because I am rearranging, painting my room, and I can't find anything. So I keep this little pouch here next to my, like I have this drawer unit right next to my work surface, and I put all sorts of random things in here. I even like put like washi tape on there if I don't end up using it. There's die cuts, there's all sorts of different things. And this is just going to show you that you don't need all the new supplies. You don't need anything crazy. You don't need an art degree to art journal, even though there's art in the name. You can just do your thing, have fun, relax, and it's going to be so simple. I promise. I actually have another journal because when I do these, I like to actually do the first one in one journal and then recreate it in the other journal. And I have actually, let me just show you, done them this way. So this is like a little journal, and I have it linked in the description. So but I've done them this way. So I thought of doing it the other way now. So this way. It's going to be fun. All right. You guys see okay? Hear okay? Everything is okay? All right. So we have some masking tape, some book pages, some rice paper, washi tape. I grabbed some sprays. Let's see. I'm going to start off with some book paper first. And even though you're not going to be able to see it, this is going to be building up those layers that we all love in our mixed media projects. And I'm not too worried about it filling the whole page, just enough to where it, in this book, was ruined. I know a lot of people do not like ripping up books, but this was found at a thrift store. I don't even know what it was. I think the name is on one of the pages, but the cover was all ruined. So it's not a book that could have really been saved. So no worries. I'm not ripping up perfectly good books, just so you know. All right. So I'm going to start off by adding some clear gesso, and I'm going to actually use a gesso for my glue as well. So this is going to prime and glue at the same time. Close this. All right. Just going to add it all on here on the back page here. And these pages are really thick. Most times I don't use gesso in this journal because the pages are really thick already. So here we go. I'm just going to add that here just as that first layer. And sometimes that's all we need just to spark that inspiration that we need just to keep going and create a project, is that first layer. And it can literally be anything. Look what Karen used. She used some lace. All right. Next, I have some rice paper that I used for a different art journal page. And I have some, let me see. I think I want this bee on here for this one. So I'm going to try to and I don't know if you can see that, but you could see through the rice paper. Rice paper is very delicate, but you can see the text through the rice paper, and it'll show up even more once I add the gesso on top. And I don't mind having creases. It adds to the texture and the end result. And you really need to be careful with rice paper, because if you add too much moisture to it, it will end up like almost fraying, and we don't want that. So I'm trying to be careful, especially on the edges. Okay. I have a little cheat sheet. I couldn't remember what I needed to make sure I remembered the order of what I put on my page here. So I have a little cheat sheet. I'm going to add a little bit of this floral design on the edge here. So again, we're just adding layers. Obviously, you don't want to add too much because this is an art journal and you want to make sure that it closes. At least semi-closes. All right. I've never finished one. I actually have an art journal that most of the pages I did when I was doing channel memberships. I have one more page left to do in it, and I don't know. I am scared to finish it. Is that weird? I was scared to start it, a brand new journal, and now I'm scared to finish it. Has that happened to anybody? Maybe that'll be my next one, is to just finish it, right? All right. Now I think I'm going to add another layer of just a little bit of ripped book here. Well, I don't want to cover that up. There we go. Need a little bit more gesso here. All right. I usually need to finish a project, but the art journal itself, I don't know what it is about it. It's a little scary to me to finish it. I don't know why. I think I might put some washi tape up there. All right, next is washi tape. So I do have some of this. I don't know if any of these washi tape, well, actually, this one, I don't have the box to it, but this one is a 49 in Market. It's really, really nice. I think it's like a 6-inch wide washi tape. It has like really pretty script. This one's available, but the Prima ones, I don't think they are. Okay, like that there. Didn't really like that dark orangey color from the rice paper, so I'm going to just cover that up and it'll mute it a little bit. All right, and then now that we have a couple layers down, we can start building up those little areas where we're going to define, like the rectangles or squares. You could do circles. And I actually was inspired by my own art journal. That's weird. Whoops. I'm going to grab it real quick without tripping over all the tools. So like I said, my husband is painting. We're almost finished. So there's like tools and everything all over my room. Let me find it. Where is it? This one here. So I was inspired by my own art journal, but this one I did circles. And this was a lot of washi tape and rice paper. This comes from that same rice paper piece. I couldn't find the packaging to it, but just so that you can see that. All right. Some more washi tape. I'm going to use this one here. And let me show you my little box here. So I have all kinds of things in here that I'm just kind of pulling from. And what I did was, like I said, I have a the Alex unit right next to me. And I have all of the things that I use most. And that little pouch that I had shown earlier. Now I lost it. I don't know how I lost it. But I put all of the leftover stuff from all sorts of different other projects in there. And then when I'm creating a project, I will pull from there first instead of going and opening up a new package or anything like that. And washi tape isn't very sticky, so you definitely want to make sure that you add some sort of glue on top. And I'm using the gesso as the glue in this case. Okay. Let me see here. What else do I got in here? I think I want to add this here just as a background. This is from a Tim Holtz ephemera pack from the Ideology. And then that way I can build on top of that. All right, where's my washi tape? There we go. I'm going to grab this butterfly one, which is really pretty. I'm sure many of us have washi tape. I think Karen even did a live on just washi tape. It's really, really great because, I mean, you can only use it so many times as like the focal point or, you know, whatever on a project. So it's really good to have for doing things like this. All right. I'm going to add it this way. Just like this. And I don't know if this is straight. It's probably not, and that's okay. And I don't care really if it's 100%, like these little edge pieces. I don't really want to glue down, but that's okay. Elaine, I am not part of that actually. I am doing a different summit in July, a card maker success summit, and I will be teaching how to use magicals, Lindy's magicals. Yeah, so that is linked in the description. But yeah, I'm not part of that one. Okay, so this is a fabric, essentially like washi tape or tape from 49 and Market. Just going to add that here. Okay, now was anyone there yesterday for the demo day? I kind of popped in and out. Like I said, we're redoing my room. So, okay, this washi tape is very stubborn. Okay. And I'm not worried about it being completely square or rectangle. I like kind of like the rough edges. It will add to the end project. I'm going to use this black one. There we go. Jackie, I hope I'm saying your name right. Jackie. You attended most of the demo day. Did you like it? I'm curious because I don't know if she, I think the demo days were during the summit last time. So I think there's so much involved in so many different classes and everything for the summit, the card summit. So it's hard to keep up with everything that goes on. Okay, I'm gonna put that here. You can use anything. I believe it might say waitlist, or you know what? I don't know if I did put a link. I'll share a link later because it's a special link. So let's see. All right, now I have these little, and I kind of cheated a little bit because I used all the ones that I had in my little pouch, but I went to my ephemera pack and got these. I believe these are from the last ideology release, these little number things. This is what is going to help create all of that. There. Yeah, Karen, if you copy it, it won't, it's weird how it works. I don't think it'll work. But it is in the last video that I did, or the last live stream. All right, so we're going to put this one here. But thank you, Karen. I really appreciate it. All right. And that one there. And this one here. Again, we're just adding layers. And it definitely is hard to see in on camera, but all these layers, like if you have something in person, like if you've never created something like this, I highly recommend doing it. It's very calming, very relaxing, just to kind of layer randomness on a page and then cover it up with gesso and then add some color to it. You can see all of the different, like behind the washi tape, I can see some of the, what is that? The rice paper and things like that. So I am going to dry this. Let me grab my heat tool. I'm going to heat this, or dry this, I should say. Okay, then I'm going to add some white gesso over top. Most everything. And my white gesso is right here. It's running low. I need some more, apparently. You know what? I think I can probably zoom in a little bit for you guys. Is that a little bit better? All right. I am going to lightly brush on in some areas, but where the black washi tape is, I want to cover it up. But this will give a really cool variation when we start adding the color. And then when we're done with this, I'm going to add that bee in the center, I think. And I think that will be the focal point rather than the butterfly ephemera piece. Here we go. All right, what kind of random things do you like to use in your projects? So many things. All right. And again, I'm not covering it completely because I like some of that texture to show through, even though it might get covered up some of it, but this gives you kind of, I think I actually want a couple more of these, and you can use the white gesso to glue as well. There we go. So you could see maybe like that. Is it too bright now that I zoomed in? It looks really, really bright. Because I can change that. Just let me know. Okay. Now, I actually had some Lindy's that dried up in here, and I just reconstituted it with some water. So it was like this. I wish I would have done that on camera because it was really cool to watch. It was just like this dried up ball, but I kept it in there from my project. So I did use a few different mediums to for color because, again, I can't really find all of my things. Some things are everywhere. So I kind of just got what I could. All right, I am going to heat this. Make sure this is dry. Remember, Karen said you have to make sure that it's dry. So we want to make sure that we listen to our teacher. Ooh, buttons are really fun. Old Scrabble pieces. Although my daughter would probably, I don't know what she would do. That's her favorite game. She is obsessed with Scrabble. Okay. I am going to just spray a little bit of water first so that this moves around. And then just spray a little bit here and there. And then I wanted to show this. So I've had this for quite some time, but it is a little pricey. It's, I think, about $30 on Amazon, but it's this really cool paint. It's called a paint puck. And it comes apart into 3 different pieces, but you could see that you can put your paintbrush here, or it also holds it up so that it doesn't get in the wood part of your paintbrush. I've used this for magicals to kind of mix them and things like that. I really, really love it. As you could tell, it's very well used, but I wanted to make sure that I was going to continue to use it before I kind of really showed it. And I'm not trying to sell you on anything, but if you're looking for something, then I recommend this. And it has like some cool stuff on the bottom of it, like these little bits that you can kind of clean your brushes with. I don't know. It's really been helpful for me because I will randomly get different cups and things like that. So I'm just going to splatter a little bit. of that color. This is the Antique Linen in the Distress Spray. Oh no, I would say that I'd send it to you, but I don't know when you'd get it. I'm bad at sending things. So, and then I actually took some, if I can find it, some Speckled Egg Distress Paint. How many of us have Distress Paint and we don't use it? I am so guilty of this. And now that I've purged, I am determined to use things that I have in my space. Okay, so I'm going to take my finger, and I actually want to dry this first. Just a little bit. I want it to be I want it to be able to have a little bit of movement, but not too much to where it turns into like a watercolor. Although using these for that is really, really fun. Okay, so I'm just kind of going over where I put those, like the ephemera and things like that, and then starting to define those lines a little bit better. Not being perfect because we are going to go in with a darker shade, of course, and then our Stabilo as well. Just starting to add some color. Okay. And while that is still wet, I'm going to go in with the Magicals because this is an acrylic paint. It will resist it. So I'm going to go in with this Magicals. This one is from the Forest, something Forest, or Magic Meadow, or something like that. I don't remember the exact name. I'm going to go in and I am going to define those lines. Just like this. And we are going to cover up some of this with some gesso in the end, but every layer, every texture, everything that you add will add to the end result. So don't hesitate to add something, and even if you cover it up later, if you're having fun, if you're enjoying yourself, just go with it, because that's all that matters. All right, add a little bit of water, help this kind of move. Let me grab a baby wipe here and just kind of soak up some of it here. Okay. All right, I'm going to dry this. So cool, because obviously the washi tape has a different texture, like a smoother texture than the rice paper, and then the fabric washi tape definitely has like really, really cool texture. I'm going to go in and just kind of darken these little areas. There we go. See, it's so relaxing. I'm forgetting to talk. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm just going to add a spritz of water, a couple actually. And then dry it just a little bit, but I want it to still be wet because we're going to be using a water-soluble oil pastel, or you can use like, what are those ones? Those like woodies or whatever they're called. I forget what they're called. All right. Here we go. And these are the ones I have. These are from many, many years ago. They do have a newer version. They come in two. Unfortunately, they are the same. Like they sell them like this is one pack and this is one pack. And the price is more than what it was before, unfortunately. But they are, I mean, I love these and I've had them for a very, very long time. Sometimes I forget that I have them, but they're really, really fun to use. Okay, so I'm going to take it and I'm just going to kind of put it in different areas. This color is raw sienna. And then you can take your finger and blend it out. And because the page is still a little bit wet, you're going to be able to blend it really well. Whoops. See, it's really wet up there. Okay. Just to define some of those areas. To help build that texture and all those layers. Yes. Are you calling my project ugly, Ingrid? Just kidding. All right. Now we're going to go in with the Stabilo. Need to get it a little bit wet. There we go. Okay. Them fighting words around here, Ingrid. Just kidding. I know you would never. Projects definitely do have an ugly duckling phase. Okay, then we're going to go in with the paintbrush. And I'm tapping on the edge where I put the Stabilo, which I probably should have dried it a little bit better. But we're going to be layering. Don't worry. Trust the process, right? Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to actually add my V right in the center. So that's going to be my focal point for this one. And I'm just going to tear around it, probably more rectangle than getting too close because I want to blend it in with the rest of the project. Whoops. Okay. I don't like this dark edge here, so I'm going to tear a little bit of that off there. I'm just going to add this right here in the center with some clear gesso, not white gesso, or else we'll cover it all up. Okay, is it frozen for anybody else? It's frozen on my screen. No, frozen. Oh, okay. That's great. Good to know. All right, so we're going to take some clear gesso and add a little bit to the back, and then we're going to add this guy right here. And rice paper, look how just already it's blending into that. Ugh, I made a muddy mess because I didn't dry it. See, this is why Karen says to dry, because I made a huge mess here now. All right, I'm going to dry and then get back to what I was doing. That's okay. See, everybody makes mistakes. All right. But most everything is fixable. There we go. I'm going to dry the back as well. And see, nothing is seeping through. This little book is amazing. All right. Now let's get back to what I was doing here. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the white gesso. I'm going to dry this as much as I can because I really just want, I don't want much white gesso. Just really going to lightly go over. See if I can do this up close. Let me dry again. Yeah, it keeps freezing on my end. Don't know why. I will just continue to go because Karen has my number and so does Ingrid. They could text me if anything is wrong. Okay, so I'm going to take the gesso and see if I can do this closer so you can see and lightly brush it on. Over top, and you're going to get some highlighted areas. This area I don't like. I don't know what I'm going to do over there just yet. So I'm just going to go with it for now. See? And where the rice paper meets the background, I'm just going to add a little bit more there. Maybe I just need some more gesso there. And then I'll add some blue there. Okay, and then we're going to turn it to make sure that we're getting in all of those little areas. Make sure the full page gets some love. We don't want to leave any little part out. I'm going to add some more gesso on this end as well. And it's weird because I don't feel like I have a lot of patience, but when I'm creating, I can sit here and just layer little bits at a time forever. I know Karen talked about being impatient when she's creating. I could do this forever. Just little bits at a time. And it just, every time you add just that little bit, it adds a little bit extra and you're just building up all of that goodness. And I really wish that I could send this to everybody so you could see the fabric texture, the rice paper texture. It's just all so amazing. All right. A little bit more. Okay. Isn't that little bee so cute? All right, now that I'm looking at it on my big screen, I could see this area here is not blended that great. So we're going to go in with the gesso. Then same with this one here. There we go. Just like that. Okay, that's good. Okay, I'm gonna dry. All right. I have a full stack of rice paper. It's really embarrassing how much rice paper I have and I don't use it enough. Maybe we can do rice paper. I could do rice paper one time or do something with rice paper because I'm sure anybody else have rice paper that they just kind of hoard. All right, I'm going to go back in and with my Stabilo and go in and again, this is one of those things that every layer adds to it. So let's see, where else? Ooh, right there. It's a good one. Don't really have much going on over here. That's okay. I found a little bit of a thing there. All right, and we're going to take paintbrush and just kind of lightly brush and blend that out. And I have a baby wipe here so I can kind of get some of that water off. And then I'm tapping out, and then I like to go in with my finger as well. I feel it blends better. Just like that. And I don't know if that's my hair or no, I think it's a paintbrush hair. I'm going to go in with my finger here, get a little bit of water, and kind of blend this out. Just like this. Sheila, could you use deli paper? Deli paper, I mean, you could technically, but deli paper doesn't have all of those fibers that rice paper does. So to get the look, probably not. But if you're just doing different layers, then yes. Like if you're not worried about the cool fibers that the rice paper has, then totally. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Go here. And it does have like a waxy on it, like you definitely could cut it up like this and use it to where you're kind of building up all of those like layers. Just need something. I think maybe more of this. Let me dry this. I love that little bee. It's so cute. I know Joggles has a lot of options. They have their own rice paper. And I mean, for a piece of paper, it is a little bit pricey. I think they're like a few dollars each. But if you don't plan on using a ton, then it may be worth it just to kind of get a couple pieces. Sorry, I'm in the zone here. I need a little bit of water on my paintbrush or my finger. Guess you can use your finger as a paintbrush, right? That's kind of what I'm doing. And I'm pouncing it on. It blends it really nicely right there. I'm going to add the Stabilo there as well. And right there. All right, so to tell you what I'm doing, so I'm dipping my finger in the water, and doesn't really, my water's all dirty, it doesn't matter. And then I am dabbing it off a little bit on, like you can use a paper towel or something, and then the water, dab it a little, the excess off, and then pounce to blend. Because I know sometimes I do things and then I'll get questions after, like, what were you doing? Like, I don't know, I was just doing. All right. I'm gonna add a little bit of the Stabilo here and here. Okay. I'm going to dry again. All right, and then going back in with some more white gesso. I know. It's crazy. This is how you're going to build up all of those cool textures and layers. I mean, and I want to recommend you just sitting. I mean, if you're a messy crafter, if you are a tidy crafter, this probably wouldn't work. I'm very messy, so I always have things around me. But I would suggest doing that, like just kind of grabbing things and just sitting and relaxing, whether you watch a show or listen to music, whatever you do. Need a little bit more white gesso here. There we go. This little bee is really cute. Okay. And I'm going to add some stamping now with some archival ink. And did I keep my stamp out is the question. Buried under the new Tim Holtz release stamps. Have you guys seen them yet? Amazing. Okay. So I'm going to stamp off and I'm going to just go in random areas. I know I can share it on Instagram, the stamps, but I don't know on YouTube. I don't know. It's kind of weird sharing before Tim does. All right. And this is going to add another layer of texture. And interest to your project. And you can use really anything. You can use bubble wrap if you don't have stamps. Really anything. Okay, I'm going to dry this. And I think I have another color here. This is Hickory Smoke. The one I used before is Ground Espresso. Well, that didn't work out, did it? Too much Ground Espresso on there. Okay. And then because this one's a little bit lighter, I can go closer to that B because I want to make sure that everything is flowing really nice. This is a lot. It's a lot going on in one page, but it's about enjoying the process, creating something that you love. And then now I'm just going to go in with some more gesso just to kind of lighten up some of the stamping that I did. I know some people don't get it. I get questions all the time. Why did you stamp and then cover it up? It's hard to explain if you don't see it in person. Like if you've never done it, you don't understand all of the textures and layers that one project can have. All right. I think I need more gesso. All right, about 5 minutes until Ingrid's. There we go. And this is about using what you have. To create something really cool. Because I know I definitely am a shopaholic. First one to admit it. And don't have any plans of changing it. Although I try sometimes and then I get sucked in. But I do like to use what I have as well. Because I don't think that getting all of the new shiny things is realistic. It's just not doable. Especially because some of these companies come out with things at least every month. And it's just crazy. All right, let's find a sentiment. And yes, Terry, it is from Glassboard Studio. If you, I can't remember if it's Tiffany 20 or 20 Tiffany, you can get 20% off of your order over there. I'm just going to grab a sentiment. And I like this one. I just want to make nice things. I don't care if anybody else likes it. I don't care. I just like creating and sharing it with everybody. And I'm going to edge it with a little bit of ink here. It's a magnetic glass board. Sorry, I didn't say. I meant to. Had a squirrel moment. All right. I think maybe, well, I'll add a little bit of antique linen afterwards because it's a little bright for this page. I just want to make nice things. All right. So I'm going to show you the first one first. And on this one, I didn't add as much color. So I went a little crazy with the color on this one, but that's okay. And I did add some splatters to it as well. So let's do that. Cannot be a project without some splatters. There we go. I knew it was missing something. There. All right. I want to thank everybody for coming. And if you create something inspired by my project, tag me on social media, or you can always email it to me as well. I love seeing it. And be sure to check out Ingrid. She is up next. And I love how she stepped out of her craft room to find inspiration. And I cannot wait to see what she creates with all of the inspiration that she gathered from what she got out in nature. So I'm excited to see it, and I will see you there.